So Terry Rozier, Damon Jones, Chauncey Billups, and whoever else the FBI decides to name have found themselves in a situation. And people are asking questions and saying different things. And one of the questions that's asked is this a case of greed going wrong, or is this a case of extortion? Because one of the things I find interesting, look, if you did wrong, you did wrong, but I find it interesting that they say that these guys were working in cahoots with all the members of the mafia families, but yet you put their faces as the face of this scandal. Now, make no mistake about it, as far as I know, and some of you people who know more about me, more than me about sports, this might be the biggest sports scandal ever. It might be. I don't know. With the amount of cheating that's been that's being alleged, so on and so forth. But it is interesting that they put these black men's face. And look, if they're wrong, they're wrong. If they're guilty, they're guilty. All right. I'm not trying to make it like that, but you put their face as the face of this huge scandal. And I ain't seen not one of these members of the mafia. And is this a question of, were these guys just too greedy for their own good? Was they literally stepping over dollars to pick up pennies? Or was this a case of extortion? I don't know, man. But for those of you who don't know what's going on, let me get y'all caught up. Got a few clips I'm going to play, and we'll get into the story.
So the FBI picked up Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones, just to name a few, and others in a case that involved a sports rigging operation that spanned across 11 states, and 30 individuals have been arrested, including 13 mafia members. This is crazy. This is the wildest opening week I've ever seen. Let's go through some of the details of this case that was announced this morning, right? So this case involves La Costa Nostra, aka the Italian Mafia. Former Raptors player Jontay Porter is a snitch. Was threatened for his life to participate in a sports gambling scheme because of his gambling debts. The FBI has been on this investigation for 4 years, with victims losing at least.
See that right there. And don't get me wrong. He's gambling. He got debts. That's on him. But that makes me wonder about the whole extortion thing, right?
FBI has been on it.
And also, why aren't these other people that's being involved, especially these mafia members, why ain't their faces being shown? Why ain't their names being put out there yet? Just saying, man.
This investigation for 4 years, with victims losing at least $7 million. Now, one of the things that Terry Rozier was picked up for is Terry Rozier said that he was going to leave a game early on March 23rd, 2023 with an injury. The defendants didn't place more than $200,000 of wagers on the unders for his prop bets, with Rozier leaving the game after 9 minutes with an apparent injury. Those bets paid out tens of thousands of dollars in profits, and the defendants, Rozier counted the money at his house. But that's not it. LeBron James was mentioned. Yes, LeBron James was reportedly the player that Damon Jones used inside info about before a February 2023 Bucks-Lakers game. Jones allegedly told others to bet on Milwaukee after learning LeBron would sit out with ankle soreness before it was on the injury report. But that's not all.
Now, they're not saying right now that LeBron had anything to do with this. What it sounds like they're saying is that basically, LeBron just having a conversation and the guy took that information and used it, not that LeBron was in cahoots.
That Damon Jones was involved in. Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups at poker games allegedly had an x-ray machine or x-ray machines built into tables to read face down cards, contact lenses / glasses that read pre-marked cards, and secret cameras in card trays. Bro, what is going on? I'm not going to lie. Clutch Sports is going to get Damon Jones if the FBI does not hold him, gang. I'm not going to lie. There's no way you can incriminate LeBron in a federal investigation and niggas just be cool with that. But some of the teams that were mentioned were the Charlotte Hornets, the Los Angeles Lakers, which is big news, the Toronto Raptors, which Jontay Porter played for, and the Portland Trailblazers, who Chauncey Billups coached. The Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier have been placed on immediate leave by the NBA. The NBA said they had no clue there was even a federal investigation going on of their players, which is wild, gang.
So, there's a quick introduction. I got one more clip, and this is what I mean by stepping over dollars to pick up a penny. If they say the operation brought in 7 million, that didn't all go to Chauncey Billups. And why are you putting your whole reputation, your name on the line for something like this? And I got some more clips. I'm gonna show y'all what the machines look like, what they say the glasses look like, and what the glasses did to the cards. If for those of y'all who ain't up on the story yet, let's keep going.
The FBI director, in fact, said, Leslie, that this is the insider trading saga for the NBA. Sports gambling investigation that they announced today, 6 defendants named, including Miami Heat's Terry Rozier and former Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones. They say between 2022 and 2024, illegal betting was happening, that these guys were involved in throwing the games or misusing insider information for gambling, and then profiting on games for the Hornets, the Lakers, the Trailblazers, and the Toronto Raptors. They gave specifics about Terry Rozier, who was playing for the Hornets at the time. He said he let a bunch of people know he would leave a game on March 23rd, 2023. Those people then wagered $200,000 on Rozier's under statistics. He left the game after 9 minutes. Prosecutors say those bettors profited tens of thousands of dollars, then went to Rozier's house to share the proceeds and count out the money. Prosecutors indicated this investigation was linked to the bust of Raptors player Jontay Porter, who, remember, he got banned from playing for the NBA for life and was convicted on felony charges. The second big investigation, Operation Royal Flush, involving Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, player Terry Rozier again, and Damon Jones in an underground illegal poker ring. This involved several organized crime families associated with La Cosa Nostra. Basically, prosecutors allege the celebrity athletes were used to lure unsuspecting gamblers to these poker games, where the mafia had modified card shuffling machines, barcoded the decks, had cameras built into the tables and light fixtures. The dealers were in on it. The athletes, they allege, made the games look legitimate. Prosecutors say one victim alone lost $1.8 million. But in total, this ring brought in tens of millions. And then when people refused to pay, prosecutors say the defendants did what organized crime always does: threaten violence. You've got 34 individuals.
And this is what really makes it bad, right? Because if Chauncey and them did this willingly, and there wasn't threats of violence to them, and they just participated, think of the people, what they're going to think when they know that they were purposely lured into this situation to essentially be strong-armed, right? Or however you want to put that, to be robbed. And so this isn't just and so he put his whole name, his career, all of that on the line for this scheme. And not only do you have to deal with the legal repercussions now, but all the people that you led into the lion's den, that you led to the slaughter, all those people now are going to have personal vendettas against you, because those people probably lost tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars, not because they got beat by a better player, but because you set them up. So now you have even more enemies. It's crazy, man.
Here charged with a range of things: extortion, money laundering, wire fraud, bank fraud, illegal gambling. Rozier will be in federal court today in Orlando. There was a game against the Magic there last night. And Billups will have an appearance in federal court in Portland, Oregon. They had a game there against the Timberwolves last night. One more note, because as you know, I cover gambling. Kash Patel mentioned that the sports books were victims in this. You had the prosecutor for the Eastern District, the U.S. attorney, saying the sports books here are victims. They were not perpetrators in all of this. So just on the record about that.
Yeah, man. And so it really don't get no worse than that. Not only are you a party to this scam, but you led a lot of people in on purpose to purposely to lose their money. That's going to be a problem for a lot of people. Now, when it comes to Terry Rozier, there's also a clip that people got going around of some of the plays. Some of these plays, man, they in fact, every last one of them look questionable. Now, I'm going to play this right here. Hopefully they don't hit me on this one, but this shit is kind of crazy. Check this out.
Still going.
Oh, what was that?
Turn it over again. Having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO. And he turned it over. Turn it up. But you don't want to play with your team, especially against the Miami Heat. I tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah.
Yo.
They're down to 3. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short. And on Merrill. Rozier contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go. That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try. Well, that was awfully.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. Some of the shots, it could just be what it is. But those passes was, come on, man. You could say it was a lack of effort, but now knowing what we know, they about to go back through all his plays now. Every play about to be he did it on purpose. Look, the shots might be able to be explained away. Some of those passes, though, those passes were just beyond bad passes. He literally looked like he was throwing the ball to the other team. And for what, though? For what, though? You did all that, and now your whole career, your life as you know it, is over. So in this clip, we got what the glass or how the glasses that were used, what it looked like, and how the cards were marked. So check this out. And so you see they just mark on the back of the card what the card is, and you can see that. But that's not it, or that's only part of it. There's also a machine. And now let's see what this machine did.
The sprawling FBI probe into mafia-linked gambling and sports rigging schemes is sending shockwaves across the NBA and across the United States. You're looking right now at the high-tech cheating technology that federal officials allege was used to rig poker games, an X-ray poker table to see through face-down cards, a manipulated shuffling machine to predict who gets the best hand, used, officials say, to steal millions from victims. Joining us now is casino game protection and cheating expert Sal Piasanti. Sal, an X-ray table, card reading chip trays, rigged shuffling machines. I didn't know this stuff existed. I guess I'm not surprised, but I didn't know it existed. Can you explain how any of this equipment is used?
Oh, I can explain all of it. The X-ray table. That's just a table that has cameras built into it that look upward at the cards. It can actually see through the green felt, so you can use any of cards. As long as the cards lie above the camera can see what that card is and then transmit it. The shuffle machines, we just did a special on YouTube, and where a shuffle machine was hacked. What happens is the Deckmate 2 has a camera in it. And what that camera does, it notifies the casino or the dealer or the house if a card is missing. Also, if you took a deck of cards and put it into that machine, the cameras know every card and can actually sort that deck out and put it back in order for you for the next day or the next play. Well, the cheaters came up with ways of utilizing that camera as well to know what cards are being dealt and who's getting them. And that shuffle machine is altered to transmit to an earpiece to tell the people who are going to win.
So this was a really sophisticated system, man. And again, I'm going to point it out. Why are Chauncey Billups and them the faces of this investigation? Why are they the faces when they're definitely not the masterminds? The way that they brought this out is real questionable. Look, everybody whoever they arrested should be in front of the fucking cameras at this point. That's how I feel about it.
Also, there are machines that were also designed to do a false shuffle, where when the cheaters put the deck into the machine, it sounds like the cards are being shuffled, but they're not.
Damn.
And then as far as the analyzer, the tray, this has been around for a long time. It's not new by no means. If you want to see a quick example of it, it could be built into the tray or it's built into a cell phone. And basically what happens is this. You could take this deck of cards. Well, first of all, this is a regular phone. It looks like a regular phone. Put your SIM card in it, and it acts like a regular phone. But when I put in a code, now it becomes a cheating phone. So let's go to Texas Hold'em. How many players? Let's say You can name any amount. We'll say 3 to keep it easy. 3 players. And I'm going to put this on loud so you can hear it. So I'm going to put it on speaker.
Okay.
And now it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So when this deck of cards right now is shuffled, it could be in a shuffle machine. It doesn't make a difference. When the dealer takes them out and cuts them, listen to the phone. 3-2. That means right now, seat 3 is going to win. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ace 5 is winning. Here's your burn. There's your flop. 2 pair. Burn, flop, burn, and C3 wins. This phone will tell you who's going to win. You heard it out loud, but this phone would also transmit to an earpiece.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. And people go into these places and gamble and put their money on. When they say that the house, the game is rigged, it's literally rigged. It's literally rigged. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anything.
But the earpiece thing, is that also relevant for the camera under the table that can read through the felt? Because the dealer is not under the table. He's not seeing it. So somebody else is seeing these images and speaking to the dealer or whomever in their earpiece. Is that right?
Correct. That's right. That information is transmitted elsewhere, and that person receiving the information sends it back. And the earpiece, believe me, is very tiny. This is one of the earpieces that I demonstrate. I don't know if you can see that.
You got to move the camera. Hold it up a little bit. Oh my God.
That's it.
That's pretty teeny.
So right
that's like
before
a 1
they go
milligram
onto the
pill.
game- Oh, totally. And it goes right into the ear. So now, right now, that earpiece is right next to my eardrum. If you were talking to me or sitting right next to me, you could look in. You can't see it. When my partner's talking to me, I hear it so loud. And there's only one way to get that out right now. Magnet.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh my God, yeah, because otherwise it's going to go in forever and cause you depth perception problems. Sal.
So you expect me to believe that Chauncey Billups and Terry and all the mothers, they was the masterminds of this thing? No. And I feel like an investigation like this, and in the way that they announced it with the press conference, like you got to put the masterminds of this thing on Front Street. Not the players, not the people who was just pawns. We want to see the masterminds. Yeah, they going to get theirs and they going to get dealt with too. We want to know the masterminds. That's what we want to know. Now, since they did name that the mob was involved, they had to go get the mob experts. We got Michael Franzese and what was his name? Sammy the Bull. So, you got to go to them. Sammy them found a way to turn from snitch to podcaster, expert of all things mob related. I don't know. But let's listen to this clip real quick.
It surprised you?
It's not a surprise at all. I mean, gambling has been major business in our former lives, forever. And I say this, prohibition was terrific. Guys made a lot of money, but it came and went. I was in the gas business, terrific. I had my run, 7 or 8 years, comes and goes. But gambling in that life is never going to go away. What happened here, I believe, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a major business for the guys. They love it. They're good at it. And, unfortunately, professional and college athletes, they're always at risk because gambling among athletes, it's an extension of their competitive spirit. They like to raise the stakes in the competition. This is who they are. This has been my experience with them. And they're always going to gamble. They're always going to get themselves in trouble. They're not all Michael Jordans that can afford any money that he loses. He'll never have a problem because he can cover any bet. But a lot of these guys get in trouble. They get involved with the wrong people. And before you know it, we have a whole deal like this.
4 out of 5 of the famous mob families in New York were involved. I didn't think they ever worked on anything together, ever. Where am I wrong?
Well, they did work together. There was the Concrete Club. When they have mutual connections and they can bring it together, they work together. On the Concrete case, they use different unions and different everybody had their own connections for stuff. They put it all together. It was very powerful. And then they split the money. But it's not a normal thing with gambling, I don't think. Usually it's separated in different families. I never heard of this. And when the show is over, I'd like to know where you could buy that machine.
Kind of had a feeling you were going to say that, Sammy. What do you think is in store for that person that turned on the others?
Well, more than likely in the mob, we killed him. I turned myself, but normally that's what they'll do. They'll kill them. I don't think this is to that degree. These people are not going to be facing life sentences, stuff like that. These are small sentences that they'll plea out. Everybody will pound their chest. They won. The answer to the other question is, how do you get them in? Greed. I see the coach made $100 million. What is he doing in the middle of this?
Yeah, exactly.
How much greed? How much money do you want? And you put your whole career and everything on the line. That young kid who's saying that I'm not faking injury and blow the game. I mean, they come out of a tough area, most of them, and they have a great career, a great future, and they throw it down the drain for greed.
Yeah, guys, make sure you listen to the mob guy who, turned and snitched and got out and became a podcaster. Anyway, according to Google, Chauncey Billups has made at least $106.8 million in total salary from his playing career. Bro, if you got you getting involved in a scheme that only made maybe 7 million, hell, even if you say 15, and that's not all coming to you. Not only do you put your life on the line, your reputation and career on the line, your relationships. Like, was he cool? These people trusted him, right? And he lured them in to get got. You know what I mean? So look, this is a stain on the NBA. This is a stain on sports in general. I don't think any of those clips talked about. There was another clip I had seen where they was talking about college football. Some of the ways college football can be influenced by, gambling and bets and stuff, just like how we saw Terry with them crazy passes that wasn't passes. He was passing. It was a pass to the other team. And how college athletes would do the same thing, especially since they're not even in you got the NIL, but a lot of those guys ain't in a position to get any NIL money necessarily, but they're in a position to influence the game. It'll be interesting to see what the NBA does about this and what all sports do about this. It'll also be interesting to see what else comes out from it. Who else was involved? How many other players are involved? You know what I'm saying? And then the most important question, who are the masterminds? Who's the one that bought the machines, that set up the tables, that did? Who are the masterminds? Because it sure as hell ain't Chauncey. You know what I mean? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.